Hello everybody, Dave here, and I figured I'd just give a little bit of an update while I'm going to do a little bit of hand working. It's taken a lot longer to get this done than I was hoping. I did end up spending quite a bit of time over the last 4 days, not doing a lot until today, and I mean mainly because I've been busy, quite simply. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of sort of excavating on the wood, on the slot for. So I'm just trying to clean out. It's weird, this big crack or split that goes all the way through the wood. Once I started sort of excavating, it turns out that it's some kind of filler or glue or something, because it's white. The only reason it's black there is, I'm guessing, time and dirt. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of excavating of the slot, which, I mean, it took a lot longer than I was hoping it to, but also my hands have been struggling a lot doing it. Also, I've been sleeping weird hours, so a bit like today, I was hoping to get loads and loads and loads done on all of this today, but unfortunately I didn't wake up until quite late, and when looking at it I look fucking knackered, and I am. But yeah, so I woke up quite late, so I didn't really be able to get as much done on this as I wanted, and I want to do a bit of sanding on this as well, front and back, but obviously now the time is elapsed, it's too late to use any power sander. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a little bit of hand sanding so I can get a bit done. I'll try and get in there done, but I'm going to talk while I'm doing it, so just mainly because I've not really done a lot of talking while recording recently. It's been more obviously working with the power tools and things like that, but the thing is, we're getting to the point where we're kind of slowly getting to the end of what has been a weird fucking year in 2020. It's strange in a way. I mean, for me, it feels like the year has passed quite quickly as well. And something that I'm still having to do with this project is I'm still kind of trying to work out what I'm going to do with the very top edge of the piece that goes here, because the damage to the resin, unfortunately, in one of the corners is quite a lot. But I have just had an idea. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this and talking, in case it triggers ideas, which it just has. Yeah, so obviously I was contemplating taking the piece back to my dad's workshop and trying to trim off another strip, but I just feel that it would cause more damage. So I was concerned about doing that, and I'm thinking about, well, what about adding a strip on top rather than taking a strip off, add something on. But I don't like how it would end up looking. Excuse me, so there's a few things we're trying to work out with that, but one of the ideas I've just had now is, because it's the corner, maybe I could sort of give it a rounded corner. I could sand a rounded corner into it. That might work. It may also make it look a little bit nicer. Now when I say I could sand a corner into it, I would need the power tool, so that's not happening today. Now, with this particular piece, even though I've just done a bit of sanding on here and I'm still doing a bit more, I'm not looking at getting all of this flat. It'd take, oh shit, it'd take a while. But also, it's got character. What I'm going to do is, I'm just using a 180 grit orbital sander disc because I haven't got any. Well, for me to find one of the rectangular ones, I'd have to go searching through my box that I need to sort out. So this is a pre-used one, so what I will do is I will more than likely go over this again. It's 180, but I'll probably go over it with the fine ones as well and get rid of whatever this white stuff is. It must be some kind of filler. I'm guessing the white bits that are on here is the same as what I've got in the groove. And as long as it's not asbestos, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Give your niece an asbestos present. Yeah, so with this particular sandpaper, I am mainly just looking at just roughing it up a bit, cleaning it up a little bit. I'll get some of the finer grit on it as well. Give it a nice clean up if I can. Now on the underneath as well, I'm going to varnish this top and bottom, basically going to give it the works, and once I have finished all of the varnishing and stuff, I've got some pads that I can stick on here as feet. Hand's killing me. I don't know what it is with my hand recently. It's more painful than normal. I suppose it is possible that I've just been doing too much. get in there a little bit if we can. Now, what I'll do when it comes to actually fitting the two pieces of wood together, it will mainly be screwed, but I will also put some glue in there. I haven't gone for trying to get a perfect fit. Right. Still got some white on there. Don't want to go splintering myself. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just give this a bit of a clean. Excuse me. Okay, so there's still a bit of white to get off there. Now let's give the front a clean. Okay, now, if I've got them to hand, which I have, and get some of my scraps of wet dry sandpaper. Let's see what we got. Okay, so 240, so I've already used 180, so 240 will be going to a finer grade. That's 120. Now I don't need to go super fine with these. To be honest, I just really want to be able to get off the remaining white bits that I can see, but also with it being a wet sander, it should pick up the bits better, hopefully anyway. appreciate the table too much that I'm not going to drink off it. I'm in a lot of pain at the minute. And really I should just stop. But I'd like to get this to a point where it's ready to be varnished really. Because then I can I mean, if I felt like doing that in a couple of hours time I could do it. Because it's not like it's a particularly noisy job, that. And I'm not saying that that's what I'm planning on doing it in a couple of hours, but it's just it gives an option, doesn't it? Because it takes a while for it takes a while for the varnish to dry. Interestingly, that has picked up quite a lot of crap, which is good. So going with the wet sand was definitely the right idea. Ow! Oh, fucking shoulder. I think what I'll do as well in a minute, not that I've got a lot left, but I'll give this a clean with some white spirits as well to properly neutralise it. I wanted to give the table a little clean. You can see as well that I've mentioned recently that I did sand the table down. I basically sanded it down so there's nothing sort of catching or anything, but obviously it's not sanded down to clean. It's just sanded to flat-ish. Right, I'll do with sponge. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Oh. Now, one of the reasons that I'm using white spirits here is that obviously I've sanded it and I've cleaned it and I've used water on it and I've vacuumed it. But this is just to neutralise, well, it's to clean it and neutralise anything that may be in the wood or on the wood. should also hopefully allow for a much better finish with it being given a much better clean. Now admittedly what I should have done is waited until I'd sanded it some more, but I suppose I can always, well, I don't need to go to a fine sander, do I? I mean, what I don't want to do is sand this so much that it loses any character it's got. So it is, it's got a nice colour piece to wood to it. It'll be, I think it will look lovely with the interior varnish on. I'm not going to use any colour, any stain. I'm just going to go for the clear interior varnish. Okay, so there we are. Yeah, I mean, like I say, this doesn't have to, well, for me to get all this perfectly smooth would take fucking ages, and I don't want to do that. I think it's one of the things with old pieces of wood, they have character and they have history. I mean, it'd be very easy to look at this and go, well, it's just a scrap piece of wood, but actually this piece of wood has got some history. And to be honest, I've taken a bit of a risk with this piece of wood, as it turns out. In that this isn't just any old plank of wood. Now, I don't know the details of this plank of wood, piece of wood, but like I say, it's not just any old plank of wood. It is from something specific. And I'm sure I heard French oak, but I could be wrong. But yes, my old man has got had 2 or 3 pieces of wood that were like this. Now I've used up one with this and a couple of other projects. And I think there's 2 more that I'm aware of. So at some point I might try and find out the more history about them. But anyway, right, that's me done for now. I'm going to let that dry up. It's had a clean. This is now pretty much, it's ready to be varnished. And just so you can see how we are kind of looking at the moment. Now, I haven't done any work on this yet, any additional work on this, so this isn't quite as clean as it will be. But I'll show the damage as well. You can see the damage in the corner, but that's what I'm thinking. If I was to, I could probably do it on the bottom as well, because the bottom overhangs. I could give the corners some curvature. I think that would look better as well. So yeah, so the groove that I've made is not necessarily there to hold it all together, but it does just about hold it together. I mean, it is literally just to, it's so that it's not sitting on top. But yeah. Now, is she gonna like it? I haven't got a clue. I'll tell you what though, while we're here, and we've used the white spirit, so we're doing a bit of cleaning. I'm just going to give the back of this a little bit of a clean, because it could do with it. If I remember rightly, actually the back of this is not ready to be varnished yet. It still needs a little bit of sanding done to it. But again, this will look very nice with some clear varnish on it. Okay. But yeah, there's a few spots where the resin had come all the way through, which means that this needs a bit more of a clean. Let's look for something to put it on. Just in case there's any chemicals on the table, I don't want it to have prolonged exposure. Okay, right, well now that is me done for today. We'll let these two clean up, dry up, and hopefully in the next couple of days I can get the corners of this sanded, how I've mentioned. I think that's the way I'm going to have to go, and while doing that I may be able to get this varnished, but there's no major rush to get the varnishing done. I wanted to get the groove done and get that ready, and I still need to drill holes and stuff, but yeah, this is gonna need some work. Obviously you've got to deal with the corners, but also the edge, and then once I've dealt with that, I've got some holes that I need to fill. They're only small, but they are there and they need filling. And once that's done, I can then work on giving the front a real good clean, because obviously that is kind of the final piece of the puzzle for that resin. It's getting that cleaned up and polished, but I don't want to do that if I'm going to be working on this side, because as I found when I used the foam padding, having it this way on the foam padding marked up the resin. So yeah, anyway, right, I've waffled loads, so see you on the next one.